Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today's subject matter is a really tragic and emotional one, and I'll do my utmost best to report on it. Before we get into the story today, I want to let you all know that if you haven't already gotten a Woke Dingbats t-shirts, why in the world are you waiting? Go and get yours right now. They are just $40, which is cheap considering that they are made for like $35, meaning I'm not making anything from this because I also have to mail it out to you guys too. Yes, I do ship internationally as well. And all of those people that have made an order and anyone new that makes an order between today and 10 days' time, I will be giving one of you a signed copy of my book. So for those of you that have already ordered, you're already in the draw. And anyone that makes an order basically from today, this video, all the way from 10 days' time will also go in the draw too, which is pretty exciting if you ask me. All right, with all that being said, let's get on to today's story, which again, you're not going to hear the mainstream media talk about this because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative of a white boy stabbing or killing a black boy. So therefore, the mainstream media is not even going to bother talking about this or putting it at the forefront and having a discussion about it. No, a black boy, 17-year-old black boy, decided to stab a 16-year-old white Christian boy at a school in Texas because he felt like it, because he was in the wrong spot. And the boy asked him, the black boy, to move. And tensions rose. And as a result, the black boy decided to get out a knife. And who brings a knife to school with them? And fatally stabs the 16-year-old Austin Metcalf. And unfortunately, Austin didn't make it. And the hard thing to talk about, like for me, like this whole story, just something happened when not long after I left school, one of my friends was stabbed to death, and she didn't deserve it. It was a domestic violence. I was incredibly close with her. We grew up essentially together, going to the same school. And this sort of stuff, it really gets to me. It does. Like, and I hope and I pray that this wouldn't happen to anyone at all. And I hope and pray that doesn't happen to me in the future. But this kind of stuff it's not on. And the fact that the mainstream media are choosing not to share this story because it doesn't fit their narrative is also just disgusting and shameful. And you're going to hear it from me because I think that it needs to be told. I think stories like this, even though they're hard, even though they're emotional, they're important to talk about. We need to have a conversation about why Carmelo Anthony decided to murder an innocent young boy. We need to have a conversation about that. What was Carmelo Anthony? What's his upbringing like? What's the father doing? Why did this young boy decide to, just after an altercation, being told to move because he was in the wrong spot, why did he decide to kill Austin Metcalf? Like, that is unacceptable behavior. So here is a story. 17-year-old student, Carmelo Anthony, stabs a 16-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track event in Frisco, Texas. And he died in his twin brother's arms. Austin Metcalf was attacked after telling a teen from a different school that he was sitting in the wrong spot. Carmelo Anthony has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Just days ago, Metcalf shared a post on X where he said, "Faith that God got me and my work will pay off." There was a confrontation that was started when the suspect was told he was sitting in the wrong spot. Metcalf reportedly didn't know the teen who stabbed him. They were twins, identical twins, and his brother was holding onto him, trying to make it stop. He's trying to make the bleeding stop, and he died in his brother's arms. Jeff Metcalf, the father, said. So here is the father talking, and honestly, it's hard not to cry.
The sad part about it is he died in his brother's arms. They were twins, identical twins. and his brother was holding on to him, trying to make it stop bleeding. And he died in his brother's arms. And I rushed up there, and I saw him on the gurney. And I could tell. They said he wasn't breathing. I could see all the blood. I saw where the wound was.
Understandably still in shock, Jeff Metcalf says a precious memory was made just this past weekend when he took his twin boys hunting. That's where Austin got his first hog. Well, this morning at around 10, he rushed here to Kirkendall Stadium, where the Memorial High School student athlete suffered a fatal stab wound during this track and field meet. Frisco police say a fight broke out between two students when one stabbed the other. More than 100 student athletes were participating in this meet. Fortunately, they were safely evacuated. Police arrested the suspect. He is 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony of Frisco. He is now charged with murder. Some students, unfortunately, witnessed this deadly encounter and have been interviewed by police. Despite life-saving efforts, the 16-year-old victim died at the hospital. Austin, his father shares, was born 2 minutes before his twin brother Hunter, the two inseparable, as you can imagine. Austin is being remembered as an outstanding student at Memorial High, his football team's MVP, and a young man of faith. His father grappling with loss and forgiveness.
I'm not trying to judge, but what kind of parents did this child have? What was he taught? He brought a knife to a track meet, and he murdered my son by stabbing him in the heart. The guy was in the wrong place. They asked him to move, and he bowed up. This is murder. I don't know. I know they have someone in custody.
Yeah, we do.
And you know what? I already forgive this person. Already. God takes care of things. God's going to take care of me. God's going to take care of my family.
The victim's father says these two teens did not know each other before today. We do need to stress that police have not said what they believe led up to this deadly encounter. There is a prayer vigil tonight at 7 p.m. at Hope Fellowship Church right here in Frisco.
God's going to take care of me. God's going to take care of my family. I've already forgiven the one that killed my son. And here's a video of Austin's brother, Hunter, talking about his experience and just have a watch.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So yeah. That's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
Hunter's a brave kid. Seeing what he saw and having his own brother, there's a special bond between identical twins. They've shared the same womb. And having your twin brother pass in your arms, he's never going to forget that. And to have the father get to the place of forgiveness already, and that's special too. This entire incident could have been prevented, could have been avoided. It was entirely senseless. What makes a young kid do this to another that did nothing wrong, was outstanding? He was stand up. Brett Cooper goes, if anyone somehow knows his family, my mother and I would love to find a way to support them. Identical twin, watching their twin die is a horrifying, incredibly unique situation that her family unfortunately knows well. We are sending prayers and they are heavy on our hearts. Matt Walsh goes, if I told you that a young man stabbed another young man to death for telling him that he was in the wrong seat, and then I told you that one young man in this altercation was white and the other black, and then I asked you to guess the race of the assailant, every single person would know the answer immediately. Young black males are violent to a wildly, outrageously disproportionate degree. That's just a fact. We all know it, and it's time we speak honestly about it, or nothing will ever change. We need to have a definite conversation about this because fatherlessness is a problem, especially over in America, especially amongst young black men. It's just a fact. And it's not to say that it doesn't happen with white people too, but it happens with Hispanics and black people. The fact of the matter is this could have been completely avoided. But a young black kid chose violence. This is the result. A good kid taken to heaven way too early. And his brother, twin brother, is left with a trauma of seeing his own brother die in his arms. You never forget that. Anyway, pray for this family and pray for healing. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.